Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mystery Sports Podcast. And today we're going to be discussing a couple of things. Obviously, this is the first time on it. I'm Rohan Mystery, and people who know me, obviously, you know me. Just the people who don't, yeah, they're just going to be a roundup on some of the sports news, mainly related to Man United. Some other stuff could be like Formula One and things like that. Obviously, when the summer break's finished for Formula One, then we'll obviously be talking about them. Golf, darts, etc. So, well, at the moment, we'll get into it. So, first of all, Sheshko is obviously official, wearing number 30 at Manchester United. Should be, hopefully, a good sign for United. We've been lacking that striker, really. There's just no real sort of goal attacking threat, really, from United. Obviously, adding Cunha and Mbuemo, but adding Sheshko into there, hopefully, he does do what we need him to do and just like score goals, get into those 18-yard box and be there when Mbamo or Bruno or whoever is crossing a ball in to the box and just tapping it in. Just get in there and score those little tap-ins, and it just makes us a better team. And I mean, judging by his stats from, in the Bundesliga last year, 33 matches for 13 goals, 5 assists. I mean, it's not 20 goals, but at the same time, he's still beating double figures. Beat Rasmus Højlund last year, so I mean, you can't really argue with that. And I think as well, even just like the way that he would link up with players. So, for example, you've got obviously he'll be playing as the 9. Then you'll have Bruno, Cunha, or 2 10s behind him. There's usually he does like to drop a bit deep through the highlights. If you watch him, he does drop a little bit deep, and then like plays in between some of the midfielders, and then obviously he goes forward a lot. So obviously that's his main job, but he drops back, and he also just goes links up with the players, gets in behind. Obviously, usually is in the box when the crosses are there to try score. I mean, he scored quite a few headers last year. I mean, some of the goals he scored in the Champions League, I think, were with his head. So, I mean, it gives us a bit of an aerial threat as well, because really we aren't the tallest side, bar from your Maguires and Delits. We are quite a short team. But, you know, it's a tough one with United because there's so much expectation and they just fall short to deliver every year. I mean, you look at last year in that Europa League final, really, we should have won it. The chances we had, and obviously with some of the news coming out that apparently the hierarchy at Man United and Ruben Amorim have lost faith in Rasmus Højlund and rushed Xerxes back for the Europa League final, saying something there that United just don't trust the players, really. No, the manager just doesn't trust, Rasmus Højlund, but you never know if they don't trust some of the other players. So it could not be trusting Nagate, Kobe Mainu. That's a bit of an overstatement, but you never know that they couldn't be trusting the players and as fans, we're watching it and you can see that the players don't, they've lost trust in the season from last year from me, because 15th in the league is diabolical. We should be in Champions League football, not 15th in the league. That is absolutely ridiculous. But this year, no Europa League, no whatever European football, the league, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, a minimum, you've got to finish top half of the table. And it's hysterical that I'm saying, we've got to finish at least in the top half of the table when we talk about Man United. 20 Premier League titles, Premier League titles, yeah. And we're saying finish in the top half of the table. It's not what we need. Surely we need to either a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. I'll take it, one of them, and a decent position, at least getting Europe, really, because anything less than that. And I just think the game might as well, like United might as well just quit, because we can't have another season like last year, getting beat by Brighton, Bournemouth at home 3-0. Just like, I was at that game and it's just awful. Like, United did create some chances, like any team would in a game, but come on, like some of the chances we do have, and the easy misses, or not easy misses, sorry, the misses that happen, you're just like, well, it's great, isn't it? Just really great, because it's honestly, it's really sad. But anyway, we've let's look on the bright side. We've signed Cunha, we've signed Mbeumo, we've signed Shesko. Hopefully, Beleba. I don't know how you say his name, but I'm going to go on to him in a second. Hopefully, another, maybe two, maybe one signing before the window shuts in 19 days, I think. Yeah, 19 days. And let's hope it's a bright start for United. I mean, obviously Arsenal at home is a tough game, but let's hope you can get a draw. I'd be happy with a draw against Arsenal. Beat Arsenal or get a draw. Then I think, who's the next game? Well, who's the next game at United? Okay. Now, another thing is Ganacho's message. Wow. I don't know if this is fully factual, but Romano said yesterday via on DAZN Football that Ganacho wants Chelsea, or he's going to stay at United, and he doesn't play football for 6 to 12 months. But that's what the statement was said, or we think Ganacho has said that to United, the message to United, and honest reactions, it's just very petty, very petty. And what a spoiled child, honestly. Like, I don't even know I'm younger than him, but wow, like, he's playing, it just, you're on so much money a week, or maybe, I don't know his exact wages, but over 100 grand a week. You're playing football, you're playing for Manchester United, and you're acting like a child. Oh, if you don't sell me, I'm not going to play. Honestly, if I was Ruben Amorim, I would be like, look, what are you doing, mate? Like, just, you are not a good person to be in a dressing room with. And I wouldn't sell him. I'd just leave him in the club, let him just rot, not play any football. Then when he gets his move to Chelsea or wherever he wants to go, he's just going to be, he's not going to be match fit. He's not going to have that sharpness that other players would have. And he's just going to, I hope to God he just stinks it at Chelsea. Just doesn't do what the best. And I can't believe, like, I mean, a few years ago, or 2 years ago, or whatever, when he broke in, I think everyone loved him, and he was adored pretty much because he was a rising young talent, and then he just chucks it in your face, really. Like, I mean, he's got so much potential. He's a wonderful footballer, but it's just disappointing to see what he is doing and how he's tarnishing his reputation at United and just his overall reputation. Because if you look at it, I don't think, I mean, Chelsea might want him. They want 30 million for him, and or something like that. But I mean, United, I think with Romano and what he's been saying, that about 40 to 50 million that United is setting. I think it's a fair price. I'd take 50 million for Ganacho. I mean, it's all profit as well, being an academy product. So at the end of the day, you can't really argue with 50 million for him, and I think 50 million is a fair price considering the. I mean, he's not a world class player. That's for certain, but he is a decent player. He is Premier League proven, obviously, and I think he is Premier League quality. Obviously, there are some parts of his game which, obviously, but he's still very young, that need to be improved. But 50 million, I'll take that, and we can go and put that towards Donnarumma or Beleba or someone else, like another centre half, maybe. I think, obviously, for the time being, I think United at the moment, centre halves, you got plenty of them, and we should be okay, realistically. I mean, even then, Shaw can drop in and you can play Dogu, obviously, as your left wing back, and signing Diego Leon. Obviously, he's very young, but still could be an option to have. Honest, but just really with Ganacho, just it's very childish. Needs to get like a grip, really. Hopefully, if we don't sell him, then I'd be happy just to let him sit in Carrington, run around, whatever, train on his own, and just stink the gaff up, because like it's just disappointing, really. Like, with such a promising prospect, like when he broke into the squad, obviously scoring that penalty to win the FA Cup Youth Championship, FA Youth Cup or whatever it was, and then now to being, I only want Chelsea, and if I stay, I'm not going to play football because I'm Ganacho and I think I'm amazing. He's fucking hell. He's not that good. Like, I mean, he is good, but there's much better players out there. And I think Brian Mbeumo, 10 times better than him. Mateus Cunha, better than him by miles. Obviously, they are different players in the way that they play. Obviously, Ganacho prefers to play on the left, but I still think with the outputs that both of them give compared to Ganacho, obviously it's clear. I think Ganacho as well, he's not very. He's a very clever kid. Like, he knows what he's doing. The stuff where he's posting posting stuff on social media with him in a Villa shirt with Rashford on the back is very clever, and I think whatever he does, he knows that it's going to have a reaction from just United fans in general and from like the world of football, really, because you could get any Villa fan really looking at that photo of him in a Rashford Villa shirt, and you're like, oh God, United aren't in a bad place. And it shows to the rest of the world that United, the culture of United is really bad. And hopefully, getting rid of Ganacho next year, whenever we get rid of him, we could have. I mean, the culture will get better, and I think from the statements of in pre-season from Shaw and things saying that the culture's got much better than what it was, and how it was a bit of a like toxic atmosphere before Ruben Amorim came in, and obviously now things are happening and stuff, and it does look. I mean, in that pre-season, obviously it's pre-season, you can't really say unbeaten. Snapdragon Cup, Premier League Summer Series, get in, but it does look like United are trying to do something, and there is definitely improvements, even though it might just be tiny bits of improvements. There could also be, you never know what could happen. Obviously, it's too early on to decide, but it does look like people are understanding how to play the system. Dogu looks fantastic in that. I'm a massive fan of Dogu, and in that pre-season, I think him, Lenny Yoro, Bruno Fernandes as always, and I think even Mateus Cunha looked very well. And honourable mention, Kobe Mainu. I think he's got a massive year this year to step up and to also just perform in this new kind of formation that he's not obviously used to. Now having a pre-season and 6 months of it, hopefully Kobe Mainu can do some, obviously, provide for us, really, and like he did in his breakthrough season. Just moving on to Beleba to Manchester United. Will it happen? I think, obviously, with United putting their interest in Beleba, I think obviously clearly want him because you don't say, oh yeah, you're interested in someone, then pull out. The only time you pull out is really if the price tag is too high. I think with Brighton offering like they want 100 million for him, I think that's a ridiculous amount of money for him. And judging by his stats, 34 games, 3 goals, 1 assist. I mean, obviously they're not amazing, but the type of player that he is, though, his defensive contributions, 46 clearances, yeah, I mean 46 clearances there. You just look at how many interceptions. I think over 240 interceptions last year in the Premier League. You just thought that that's and obviously he's a centre mid and he fits into our Amorim's system as playing as one of those two. So you could have Bruno there and then Beleba there or wherever, whoever could be next to him. Could be Kobe Mainoo, Ugarte, Casemiro, whoever. But I think United need energy in that midfield. Casemiro, he's off his feet. Kobe Mainoo is not. He's got energy, but he's not the quickest. Ugarte, he is very technically gifted on the ball, but doesn't have the energy that you need, like a Kante who just run around everywhere. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, he's got the energy there. He's always going to try, but you can't let Bruno Fernandes be doing that because Bruno Fernandes is our most creative player. He's our best player, no doubt about that. So, Beleba, obviously, he fits into there. He runs about. He does those defensive duties that we need really to stop them balls just coming through. Like if you look through last year, you could see it so many times that United just getting cut through so easily, so easily. There was nothing like stopping them. Like no, like well, obviously they would stop them, but there was no kind of like togetherness within the midfield, and that gap between the centre mids and the back three was huge. And I think if you watch the Liverpool versus United at Anfield, when obviously brilliant game 2-2, you look United's midfield were really close to the back three, and it kind of shut out some of Liverpool's passing movements and how easy it was them to cut through. Obviously they did cut through, but Liverpool were a fantastic squad, and obviously they are at the moment. But I think United want to press forward. So either with Beleba as well, with the energy that he brings to the squad, obviously be a massive improvement from someone like Casemiro. He just obviously runs about, gets stuck in, very tenacious, wants to he'll get the ball and he'll play it off quick. And watching a couple of his highlights at Brighton, he was very got on the ball, dictated the kind of play, playing it between the lines, passing it out to Mitova, you give it into the strikers if you can, or the cams, whoever it may be, and also just breaking up the play when Brighton are under threat of conceding. He'd be there just trying to niggling at the players, trying to get them into the legs, trying to get the ball, whatever he's trying to do. I think he's very, very talented footballer. Brighton obviously setting about 100 million for him. Obviously, it's a lot. Brighton tend to do well with getting the money. I think United, I'm not sure. I think United want to pay something about 70 to 80 million for him. I don't know where we're getting the money from. But we could wait and see what happens. Obviously, 19 days of the transfer window left. Obviously, it won't. I don't think it'll be done for Arsenal. I think with Belieber, I think it's just probably interest at the moment. Fabrizio Romano was saying something like Man United in the next couple of days will be speaking to Brighton naturally and seeing what the situation is with him, and hopefully then we'll find out a price tag with him, and if United are willing to pay the extraordinary money that it might be to sign Belieber. So moving on to a different club now. So with the podcast and the live shows, it's not just going to be mainly about Manchester United. I know, obviously I'm wearing a United top. I'm a huge United fan, but a lot of the focus will be on United because obviously it's personal to me, and But we'd also be talking about, for example, now we're going to move on to Alexander Isak, so the Newcastle there. Who also get, like, obviously City, Liverpool, then also other sports as well. So, for example, obviously Formula One and things, that's on its summer break, like I said before. Boxing, any big fights coming up and things like that, golf, darts, etc. Really. Cricket as well, yeah. Obviously with the Ashes coming up, so that'll be good for December. Now moving on to obviously Isak. So Isak is determined to join Liverpool. Obviously, as everyone know, or people know, it's been quite public with Newcastle with this, that Isak has been training by himself, not only at Real Sociedad, but when he flew back into Newcastle, he has been training by himself. And as Eddie Howe said, he cannot involve Isak in his current plans and his and within the team at the moment. It's quite, I mean, looking out for him as an FPL player, Isak is a wonderful striker. I do think that Isak is obviously he's a wonderful player, but he's no Brian Mbeumo. He's no not what am I on about? He's no Kylian Mbappe. He's no Vinicius Junior. He's not an Erling Haaland. Like, he's not 120 million plus player. But obviously Newcastle are going to get as much money as possible from him, and obviously they don't want to let him go, because they let him go, who can they get? Because I mean, they've lost Shesko to us, they've lost Hugo Ekitike to Liverpool. I mean, there's not many strikers out there. I mean, they're possibly looking at Kolo Malawi or Nicholas Jackson. I mean, he'd probably go to Newcastle, because it looks like with Chelsea and Nicholas Jackson, it's over. It's disappointing to see, really, though. Isak, he's determined to join Liverpool. You're just like, this summer transfer window, a lot of players are just leaving, like, are just falling out with the clubs. Like, if you look at Jackson, obviously falling out with Chelsea, Donnarumma, I think it's the PSG have kind of fallen out with him, and I mean, Donnarumma's pretty disappointed. I mean, Donnarumma's a fantastic keeper, and if you look at last year, Donnarumma was doing bits for them, like against Arsenal. Some of the saves he was making is fantastic, and it's honestly stupid why they don't want him. I don't know why that's happened, but with Isak, obviously he's a very, very, very gifted football player, and him to just say to Newcastle if he doesn't want to live, like Gabby Abonho was saying on Talk Sport this morning, that who does he think he is? Because realistically, he's not. No one's bigger than the club. No matter where you go, no matter what football club you go to, no one is bigger than the club. And he's just doing that. And Newcastle as well. I feel sorry for the Newcastle fans, because they love him. They probably adore him. Like, honestly, he's an amazing player, and the club treat him with honestly very well. And just to like throw dirt in their face, really much Isak is doing. The same as Ganacho, really. And like Liverpool as well. Like, do you really want Alexander Isak in your club? Like, I wouldn't, because just when he's 27 or whatever, Real Madrid will come knocking and did. He'd be like, oh, I don't want to play for Liverpool. I'm not going to play anymore. I'm just going to train by myself, and then I'll go to Real Madrid on a free or something like that. But it's very, very disappointing to see. And yeah, well, we're going to be wrapping it up now here. Obviously, with the Premier League starting on Friday, Liverpool versus who are Liverpool playing? I don't know. Look, on Friday, good Friday night football, Premier League starting. It'll be a very, very interesting season. I think we'll do a Premier League prediction show. I'm just going to give you a quick opinion on it. I think Liverpool probably win the league again. United need to have a big season. Big season for Forest. City as well need to be in massive improvements. Arsenal probably finishing second again. But and it'd be good to see what Sunderland do and Burnley and Leeds. Hopefully, then not all three teams go down who got promoted. And yeah, and also looking forward to having maybe a disappointing season from United's point of view, but also just getting football back. Really, I mean, we've had a few months off of it. You've got your Formula Ones and stuff, but nothing beats football really. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone listening and watching the live stream. Obviously, we'll be doing more, and yeah, let's hopefully have a good Premier League season for United, and everyone else has a good rest of the day. See you later. Bye.